Welcome back to Chukitable Media.
The Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, has gotten the memo. He's been getting the beating left and right on the social media due to the way he's been behaving to all the female members in the House of Senate. Being first among the equal, Akpabio has been using his position to oppress and to drum down the contribution of ladies in the Senate. Here is how Onosherina Obosege
He
put
had
the
said to
videos
Senator
together.
Ireti Kingibe that
Watch.
the government cannot fund the renovation of the burned Kubo market in Karo here in Abuja, and also asking the FCT Minister Yesom Wike to disregard her claims of not being carried along. Now, just last Thursday, he said to Senator Natasha Akpoti to be coordinated because the Red Chamber is not a nightclub. Now, let me bring you up to speed with this video that I compiled.
I urge the FCDA and Abuja Municipal Area Council to offer the shops when rebuilt to the victims at a subsidized and affordable rate in order not to disenfranchise the original owners of the shops. I so submit.
So why do you use government money to build community market, maintain the status, and hand over to the community? So what I'm saying in essence is that the prayer is faulty. But is there anybody who wants to second this prayer?
So I stand and I speak to second the prayer as amended by Senator Ireti Kingibe. If your question has to do with the disbursement or the utilization of government funds in rebuilding a community market, sir, the people are the government. The communities are the government.
One of the legislators on television talking about you and mentioning the fact that she was not carried along. Well, she's a member of the Senate. Once the decision is taken, she is bound by the decision. So please ignore every distraction and then be rest assured that no matter what you do, not everybody will praise you.
Mr. President, we don't want it to be killed. We just want a bit of modification. We don't want the bill killed, but it should be slight modifications. It's a necessary bill.
Distinguished Senator Natasha, in the chamber, you have to be recognized before you speak.
Oh, pardon me.
Yeah, we are not in a nightclub.
Okay, so that's summarily the case right there, and he's been in the news. Let's see how netizens have been reacting to this. Responding to AIT, who had shared one of the videos, Donak says, too bad for Akpabio. That lady was voted to the seat by her people. Where to consign nightclub for that discussions. This is how they won't let sensible people speak in the House. Only people agreeing to every rubbish bill they brought up. And in another reaction also, AE says, I expect the Labour caucus of the Senate to call out Akpabio. He is first among equals, and he has to accord respect to his colleagues. Ireti is not being protected by the current Senate. In another reaction to in the space of X, another user is also sharing thoughts on this, on what they think. This one would be from Harry_1, who says, but there are etiquette. One should just respect himself in public places to avoid this type of embarrassment. Whether nightclub or market, Abina jungle, unprofessional behavior brought this insult. And final thought is Olumide, who is calling on female, advocates, and he says this is where our Nigerian feminists need to speak. Mr. Senate President needs to be cautioned.
After the continuous basketballs on the social media down to the house of Mr. Senate President, he has gotten the memo.
Years later.
Still learning. Even those of us that have been in the Senate for 16 years, we are still learning. So we'll do well to continue to learn. But in the course of my talking to one of my distinguished sisters, that she should speak whenever she's recognized, I made reference to the fact that we are not in a nightclub where people have to shout above the noise of the music. And the social media went agog. I'm not on social media, but my wife called me that people got angry. They published her number and said people should occupy her. So she used to receive, she received over 2,000 to 3,000 phone calls a day. And then I tried to on one of my phones. I realized it was in the public. In fact, the phone crashed after about 3 hours. So I am very happy with the interest generated by Nigerians in what goes on in these chambers, because we are here to cater for their interests. And so for them to be so interested in what goes on here means that we are connecting with the people directly. And it would have been terrible if we were doing all this work and the people were not even aware of what we are doing. But the communication was totally misunderstood. Instead of taking it for the nature of what we said, that you should not shout when you are talking and not and speak when you are recognized, they went into private abuses. I don't want to say what they did to me, because what they did to me, I think I don't merit it. I was telling DSP that it's even the one they should be talking to, because in my tradition, we marry only one wife. So they listed so many wives on social media. And at the end, it will look as if the Senate president had or has so many wives. When indeed, I'm reporting to my colleagues, I have only one. And I'm satisfied with that one. And she's a beautiful and loving woman. I will not intentionally denigrate any woman. I have a wife, I have 4 daughters. And I always pray that God will lift a girl child to the highest zenith in Nigeria, politically and in business. I also want my children to do well. So, distinguished Senator Natasha, I want to apologize to you if you felt offended. If I had mentioned that we are not in the market, they will say I said you are a market woman. If I said that we are not in a nightclub where people shout above the noise of the music, they will say you went to nightclub. If I said you were not in a community meeting in the village, they will say Akpabio says Natasha is a village woman. For me, there is nothing I will say that will not be misunderstood. But the interest generated in the social media, people jumped in, shows that you have a lot of political enemies. It also shows that I do have enemies. All of us here contested elections with people. So whenever those people think that you are being brought down, they will jump up and they will say all sort of things. I noticed even some of them that could not pass through Senate screenings went into the fray and abused the Senate president, abused you and all that. I don't know how you took it, but I felt that I should send a public apology to you over the miscommunication and the misunderstanding. So do accept my apologies, and my colleagues, or anybody who could have felt offended, accept my apologies. I did not mean any harm, and I did not mean what they are misinterpreting in the social media. And I hope this will come to an end, and people should concentrate on things that will move this country forward and not things that will divide us. So I hope the apology is accepted. Leader of the Senate.
The man finally hitting the umbo cookies. Can we say the fear of national strike is the beginning of wisdom? Akpabio is waking up. Thank you for listening. This is Chukitable Media. Put your comment in the comment section if you think Akpabio is doing well. Don't forget to subscribe, like and share. God bless you as you do. See you next time.